special in store for you. The grandest spectacle, the greatest show of all, Johnny Bang Bang Show. Here's your host, Robert Gifford.
That's right. It's me. I am the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, Robert Gifford is my name. Johnny Bang Bang is the game. And to my right is the man, the main, Grant Mark Clark and Sonny Batunsky. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic.
Hey.
Ready to have a wonderful discussion.
Yeah, wonderful discussion about the world of professional wrestling, man. I love this sport so much because this theatrical, whatever you want to call it, professional wrestling to you, sports entertainment to me. I love it so much because there's so much taking place, even on the days where they're not wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a constant juggernaut, man.
There's always new news, things can happen at house shows that aren't even televised that we don't even know about.
They were just in Toledo, actually.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And AEW just reported that they're coming to Little Caesars Arena. And did you see who's in that main event match? John Moxley, Kenny Omega, and a steel cage in Detroit.
That's blood.
That's blood. Oh, that's blood before they even enter the ring.
Yeah.
That might be something you and I might have to check out, though. We'll have to see what the prices are to that. Although you do have a new child arriving here in the month.
Yes,
so
that's true.
this is a big deal for us. We're back. I took the week off last week because my buddy had some family makeup Easter things and just that nature. And now we're here to dive into all things WWE Draft Night 1. We're going to touch on the new title. What were your thoughts on that? Hopefully next week, what we'd like to do is I'm gonna put the number out there next week. So just so you guys know, next Sunday at about 7:15 p.m., we will have the number there for you guys, and we're going to try to get some audience participation. What do you think about that?
I like that.
All right, so be prepared to call in next week. Always, you guys can comment in the chat, and we'll touch on your thoughts there. We want to talk about Punk Shenanigans. He was at Monday Night Raw on Monday, and then somehow was in a backroom meeting with Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, and the likes of them.
And even showed up to Impact.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Is that true?
Yeah.
He was at Impact?
Yeah.
This guy hit for the Grand Slam, did the whole thing, huh?
Just showing up wherever he wants. He doesn't care.
He's just fucking with us.
It has to be publicity stunt just to.
You think?
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Let's share some of that or save some of that. We'll talk about the AEW update, just all things that are going on with that. There was a major signing this week, and he debuted. And then obviously we got to jump into this weekend upcoming Backlash pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view since WrestleMania, kind of a reset with the draft that's going to be taking place on Monday to kind of set that off and have our Raw and SmackDown go-home shows. So a lot to talk about, and we should probably talk about Friday Night SmackDown Draft 1. First of all, before we talk about the players and the participants of who was drafted, I want to get your thoughts on just the overall way the draft works, and do you like the way it works?
I like, if you're going to have multiple brands, I think the draft is a good idea.
Okay.
Unless you're AEW, who wants to create a show just to have people that want to work with one person. But I like the draft. The thing that bothers me right now is I remember growing as a kid that those episodes of the draft were huge.
They felt big.
It was such a shock when someone came. And now it's, I think half the people drafted, they were groups drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and then I know it's sports entertainment. It's not, we should take away all beliefs and stuff and just enjoy it. But how is like your first few picks aren't your main guys?
Right.
Like, yeah, Roman number one pick, of course. Should be.
Yeah.
But then.
Who was number two?
I'd have to pull it up.
Yeah.
But it's.
Was it Cody Rhodes Raw? So that
So
makes sense. Like you got your 1A and your 1B.
But then it goes Bianca.
Yeah.
And
now, okay. Again, you could go 1A, 1B with the women there. So like, I'm still on board with what they're doing there. I'm still okay with it.
But then it's like, but people like, there was no drafting of Seth Rollins,
which makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah.
Now here's the issue, and this is what they're trying to do, and I get it. Because they've stretched it out over 2 nights now. It used to not be 2 nights.
No, it used to be that one.
Monday Night Raw was your draft. You drafted everybody, and there it was.
And they'd have the matches, and then someone.
Yep.
I like that they had the matches between the brands too.
To figure out who was going to get,
and stuff like that. That was fun, which that's not there. It's just kind of like, oh, SmackDown got first pick because it was on SmackDown.
See, and I think that's kind of the issue. because I'm with you. The draft used to feel mega to me. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things that kind of, especially through, to get you through the May season all the way, up until about SummerSlam, you kind of need these big moments, that you can hit on. And my issue with the draft right now is, first of all, I don't know how I feel about groups being selected. It's like, okay, either select all of the group, or one at a time.
It's like,
because why weren't the Usos? Are they not a part of the bloodline? They're part of the bloodline. So why are they not?
It's like, I remember, I think it was the first ever draft. They split up the Dudleys in it, and it was like that led to a storyline. Yes, they ended up becoming back, but it was like,
but at least that made sense.
Yeah, and it was it could build stories. This is just,
to me, it's got to be one way or the other. Or well, the Usos aren't tag team champions anymore, so that could be the issue.
But then, like, you had Imperium get drafted.
Yeah,
and it's like, it kind of would have been pretty cool to see him be like, we draft Gunther.
Yeah,
and then maybe a couple rounds later, then it would have been like, and they could tease, maybe Gunther might not have his guys with him anymore.
See, and that's the whole thing.
And then Raw picks, whatever the two, Kaiser and Vinici. Later round, and it's like, okay, they're back there, they're all together still, but
at least you have to spend a pick on it, and the issue that I'm having with it, and it's because they spread it out over 2 nights. You've got to figure out a way to make the second night just as entertaining as the first night in theory. But like, my question is was the first night really entertaining then? If somehow Indy Hartwell is already being drafted to, which that's a major. You
have 2 of your NXT champions.
Yeah.
The NXT women's tag champs and your women's champion are now
on the main roster. And that's the type of shit that people hate. It's like, why now you hurt your other brand. You know what I mean?
What are you just going to have those 2 titles not even on the show? And it's
just ultimately what's going to happen is they're going to lose, and it's going to be predictable, and you're going to know it, right? So it's just like, to me, you should have had. I just never understand why it doesn't feel like these organizations, and maybe it's because they're just constantly going, right? WWE has house shows, they have live events, they have Monday night, Friday night, they have their pay-per-view, the premium events as they call it. AEW has Rampage, Dynamite, the Dark Show. They've got WWE Access. They've got all this content programming that they're constantly doing that maybe they just can't get this far ahead that they want to do. But like, to me, it should be worked backwards. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we know that we want Indy Hartwell to be brought up to the main roster. She's got to drop the belt before then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We want the tag team champions to come up to the main roster. They got to drop the belts before them, just so there's some type of I don't know, like continuity. You agree with that?
Yeah. And part of it, kind of like going off of that, you could have had Indy drop the belt before. I mean, when she won it, it was a shock.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then she defended it in a triple threat. She could have lost that easily in there because the end goal was to bring her up.
Right.
Did she really need to have that? Because she's, a fan favorite, stuff like that. She doesn't need that title.
Or there should be a segment, because she doesn't need the title. Yeah. She doesn't need it. Should there be a segment that says, hey, congratulations, you've been drafted, basically, but now you have to lose.
Yeah.
That should take place too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then
have them show her getting excited that, she get drafted.
And then sad.
Shawn Michaels has to walk up, gives her a hug, and then, you have to relinquish the title though now.
That's exactly what should have happened.
It would have been.
All within the same segment. She's like excited, and then he's like, hey, very proud of you for all the work and yada, yada.
I did thoroughly enjoy, or going off one thing, and kind of thing that bothers me first is now they're just announcing picks over the weekend on Twitter and stuff. It's like,
they started doing that a few years back too.
Like, one thing that I did like out of that though is they had some of the NXT people. Like, I like whenever the NXT get brought up because they have them all in that room, and then
and they kind of like,
it's like a celebration.
Yeah, it's a passing. It's like you're going to the next.
So that kind of ekes me that they're doing that, and then also the whole I don't like that they have the free agents. Yeah,
so explain this so that people understand what you're talking about.
These are people that
can bounce from show to show.
When it first started, they were people. The last time they did the draft, they were those who didn't get drafted were free agents.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and now they're just coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, this guy, Dolph Ziggler, is a free agent."
Why? That just means that we want to be able to use him on both shows.
Von Wagner is one from NXT, and then I think Omos they did something with Omos where MVP negotiated something. And it's just like, have the draft completely through, and then if those people, then you can build storylines.
But nobody's going to believe that Omos wasn't drafted since he's in a big prime fight against just had Brock Lesnar and now Seth Rollins. I mean, they're really giving this guy everything, right? My thing is I think the whole idea is that when we talk about the draft, we kind of have this idea that it works like sports. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where like I said, I'm totally okay with both the like groups being chosen. Like, I'm okay with that. If you don't want to break these groups up, that's totally fine. Or you have to go one at a time, you know what I mean? Except for tag teams stay together. Like, that I'm okay with. Now, there is a way to do it. Draft all of Bloodline, okay, including the Usos, and then trades. Like, trades.
Brand trades would be
awesome. We just got the Usos. So, like, now the Usos are on Monday Night Raw. Bloodline's on Friday Night SmackDown. You get them away from each other for a while. It kind of cools off, but the Bloodline's still there. And now there was a trade. You know what I mean?
And it would be so cool, like, if they had trades, especially having NXT, you could be like...
Getting them involved?
Yeah, you could be like, massive trade has been dealt where NXT gets... say maybe like a Dolph Ziggler when he...
And NXT
sends up 3 guys, and it's like, you...
That could work out, something like that, where you get 3 for the price of 1 because of the value of Dolph Ziggler being on NXT. You could also do something like, because we drafted such and such, now NXT is guaranteed a main event match of their shot at any time they want. You know what I mean? That's kind of a wrinkle. Like, you know, just see Braun Breaker show up to like the night after SummerSlam.
Yeah, just or
people would go nuts for shit like that.
And it's just, it builds more stories.
Yeah.
Where now we're just kind of sitting like, almost scratching our head like, why?
It's just not entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just not entertaining. It's just because now, well, hell, a lot of the guys, it's fine that they're on the same show, but like, it's just not entertaining because what we want is we want to see the best of the best. It's almost like we want you to give us a ranking order of, you know, of everybody. Seth Rollins should already be off the board. If Indy Hartwell has been drafted, why the hell has Seth Rollins not been drafted?
Yeah. The only people I think that shouldn't be drafted and should get that free agent for sure, or like not even included, would be Roman and Sammy and KO because they hold both sides titles. And
Yep. It makes sense.
But
you know, another thing you could do, and I think they did this one prior, but like, if you want to make night 2 just as interesting and you want high talent available, then just say, hey, this is night 1 pool. This is night 2 pool. These are the guys that can be drafted in night 1. These are the people that can be drafted in night 2. And you can figure out a way to do that based on win-loss records, based on, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just an interesting way to do it. But like, again, it has to come back to long-term storytelling. Work backwards. Make it make sense. You know what I mean? That way it's a little bit more interesting because now you just got, in my opinion, you just got what you want to be a 2-night entertaining big show really is a lackluster night 1 and night 2, and it doesn't feel like as big as it used to. You know what I mean?
I agree.
All right, let's talk about the participants, though, that did get traded. Let's talk about the orders of how they went. We've already discussed that Roman and Cody went 1 and 2.
So, well, and not just saying Roman, it was Roman, Paul Heyman, and Solo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's playing a storyline because they couldn't, you know, the Usos couldn't.
Especially, like, you could tell me Paul Heyman's with Roman. Like, you don't need to tell me Paul Heyman's been drafted because technically Paul Heyman was the number 1 overall because his name was called first. Yeah. But, like, Solo, like, since they didn't name the Bloodline and Usos with him, Solo shouldn't have been a part of this.
Yeah, I agree. Cody, second pick. SmackDown then selects Raw Women's Champion,
Bianca Belair. Okay.
And then Raw selects Becky Lynch, which that one going in there, that kind of confuses me. Why, like, you're going to draft, the third pick is going to be the women's champion for Raw going to SmackDown, and why wouldn't Raw instantly draft?
They've done this before in the past. And
then they have to switch the titles.
Well, again,
but
there's a lot of problems here because it used to make sense when you had general managers, right?
Bring back.
So you actually, I love a general manager.
Bring back a commissioner too.
What do you mean?
Like back in the the name.
Oh, like back in the
when he had the
Jack Tunney's and the Shawn Michaels was the commissioner at one time.
Bring
And,
those two. That'd be awesome.
all right, I'm for it. I'm all for it. Like like when we know the personalities that have a stake in drafting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, it's like who's drafting it?
Yeah,
Who's the person drafting it? Who's Raw?
For all you know, it's Vince and Triple H just sitting back there.
But that would have been way more exciting.
Yeah.
Think about this storyline that could have came out of this. Vince could have came out and been like, I'm running creative. Triple H is like, no, I'm running creative. I'll tell you what, for one calendar year, me versus you. Like, how awesome would that
GM
be?
mode.
GM mode. Fuck
live
yeah.
action GM mode. Shit, just have Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze do it like they do on their YouTube channel.
Yeah. I would be totally for that.
All right, let's continue. So round 2, SmackDown then selects the Street Profits. Raw selects Imperium.
All right, so stop right there.
Yep.
They're already drafted before KO and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
So the Street Profits and Imperium are somehow more valuable than KO and Sami Zayn.
And then here comes another thing with it too. Raw selects Gunther, who's your IC champion.
I'm cool with that.
And so now you have at this moment you have the IC title and the USA title on,
which means Austin Theory will be going to SmackDown
or whoever if he drops it.
Yeah. Well, who's he fighting at Backlash?
It's a triple threat with Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed.
Yeah. So and Bobby Lashley is on SmackDown, so technically Theory could stay and then he'd win. Yeah.
So then SmackDown selects Hall of Famer Edge.
Now that's cool.
Or if you read the thing that I'm going off of WWE Hall of Fame, so they get the whole Hall of Fame. And then Raw selects Matt Riddle. So round 3.
Yep.
SmackDown selects Bobby Lashley. Raw selects Drew McIntyre. Shocking one here. SmackDown selects the OC.
Yeah.
So returning AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Mia Yim or Michin, whatever they're calling her. And then Raw selects The Miz. And then we go to round 4, which was the last round
on
for
TV,
the show.
Right? Yeah.
So SmackDown selects all of Damage Control, so Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io. Raw selects Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
And then here we go. Here is now we get to NXT. So SmackDown selects NXT Women's Tag Champs, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. And then Raw selects Indy Hartwell, which these are both these champions literally just won their championships.
Yeah, just won them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're going to they're going to relinquish them. Let me just look because this didn't have some of the ones under or over the weekend that were announced. So Raw also picked up Zoe Starks from NXT. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Raw also got JD McDonough, so the Irish Ace, and Raw also got Apollo. Yeah,
so and they made a big deal about that. It's like,
and then you have your people that are free agents, as Mustafa Ali, Dolph Ziggler, Von Wagner.
Basically, they are just journeymen that whenever you need a match against someone, they're there.
Yeah, and Dolph Ziggler and Ali will put on a good match. Von Wagner will just look stupid.
Let's just call it what it is, man. The draft is a bust.
It's a dud so far.
So since WrestleMania, which I thought WWE knocked it out of the ballpark. Go ahead.
Sorry, WWE, their Twitter posted, predict the future brands for these superstars. You have Sammy and KO.
Yep.
The Usos.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Dominic
Seth
Mysterio.
Rollins.
All of the
LA Knight. Judgment Day. Brawling Brutes.
Yeah.
The LWO.
Yeah.
Like all these groups. And I don't know.
And Indy Hartwell has been drafted. And Von Wagner is a free agent. I can tell you, man, like.
You know what bothers me, though? You know who wasn't drafted?
Who's that?
Hit Row. Top dollar. I need it.
Don't worry. It will happen for you, I'm sure. It will happen, I'm sure. I just feel like there's been a lot of it's just been kind of a letdown, I feel like, coming out of Mania. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, my interest level in Backlash, which I'm going to watch them all. I watch everything, but like my interest level in Backlash is a solid D right now. Like outside of like what before we get there, what's your interest level in Backlash? Compared to like WrestleMania. I mean, it's not a fair comparison, but like compared to Elimination Chamber.
I'm going to pull up quickly just the card so I can see. I just want to check one thing.
Like, what is the
There's
match?
3 title matches on there. 2 of them are women's. One is the United States Championship.
Yeah.
I don't care about any match except for the Bad Bunny one, just because I want to see.
You want to see how that
I want to
goes?
see how that goes.
And I only care about the main event. So
it's
Cody and Brock.
It's kind of been a poor build.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with Cody and Brock. Like, I'm okay with that. The route that they've taken with Cody since Mania. I think that's the way you have to do it. But
I'm excited for I'm excited for the Rollins Omos one too, though, just because I want to see how
styles conflict. Yeah.
And they're Seth Rollins had a fantastic promo like this week anyway, so we'll see how it is.
Just to kind of put a ribbon on the draft, it feels like a reset. It is a reset, but like it just the big luster of what the draft is has just been, in my opinion, it's just gone to the wayside. It just felt like another show kind of once you started getting going, you know what I mean? It used to be like Edge, and then Edge would come out.
Yeah, his entrance would play.
And
remember they'd give him the shirts and
yeah.
stuff? I did like, though, that they had guest people come.
That was cool. No, I love that. Yeah.
See Michael P.S. Hayes and RVD.
Yeah. It'd be cool to get like a celebrity out there that was like, you know what I mean? Like a Key Peel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just someone funny. You know, that's a good chance to get those guys to come in there and make a big deal about it. But again, I think here's how you fix it, though. Just to kind of give my thoughts on how you fix it. You got to go back to general managers because you got to give a face to is Adam Pearce fighting against Adam Pearce? Like, you know what I mean? You just got to give me a personality to root for. That way I'm brand.
And have that personality that, like, makes each pick kind of feel personal. Like, say if Regal was still the GM.
Oh, that would have been, yeah.
And, like, Indy Hartwell gets, you could see him, they would show his reaction being gutted.
Right.
Same if,
Yeah, exactly.
Pierce was one of a brand, and you had another one, and someone stole Imperium. But that was bad. You could show how happy, because Adam Pearce has had issues with Imperium.
Right, exactly.
Mania, so you could have him be happy in it.
But there's just got to be a better balance to it. The other issue too.
Vincenzo sitting in the back.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think that the draft, they need to give the personalities better. You need to fully, you need to draft talent. You could do the pools that we still have 2 nights of it, which is totally fine. I liked what they did a few years back. In theory, I liked what they tried to make it. Like, if you're not going to give me general managers because you just don't want to go that route because they take up a lot of the face time of the show, then do Raw or USA representatives and Fox representatives. But, like, don't give me the War Room, where they're all like, oh, they're slamming the pen down. Like, don't over cheese it up. Wrestling's cheesy as it is. But, like, know where the line is. Like, it's okay that they have the War Room, but, like, they're not in there, like, overacting. Make the War Room, like, this is where, leading up to the draft, a USA representative should go up to a Hall of Famer like Edge and say, hey, listen, we want you to represent us. You're going to be in charge of drafting. You know what I mean? Like, that way there's a face for, and then those segments in the back can take place a little bit more. Maybe Randy Orton versus Edge or something like that on, you know what I mean? We need a face.
I would almost like similar idea, but have maybe, your legends that are associated with SmackDown or Raw, that when you think of those shows, they're there. Maybe have them as a group.
Right.
You're sitting there and making a pitch for, this is my brand. I want them. And then, or have little things like if you had
a fan.
Man, if you had a GM for Raw, because Roman Roman stayed on SmackDown, right?
Roman's on SmackDown.
What if Roman stays on SmackDown and then they do that, if they have a War Room or something like that, and Roman walks in and you see him just sit down and he's trying to make the calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just would have built. We just need a little bit.
Yeah, he walks in as the head of the table, kicks Adam Pearce out, and then he's
I'm
making
the calls now.
Dude, I'm so with you. There's just so many other things. It's just like, what bothers me the most is like it has this potential to be something, and then they just totally drop the ball. Mm-hmm. And I just hope that's not a pattern, because right now I feel like since WrestleMania, the night after, you had Endeavor take over, it feels like there's just been kind of chaos, and we're getting kind of a sloppy, chaotic pay-per-view coming up.
It's like, oh man, they're almost, I'm not gonna say in crisis mode, but it's like, they procrastinate till the last moment. Now they're trying to throw everything.
It just feels sloppy. It just feels like they're not organized right now, and it feels like we're getting we didn't get the big reset with, new storylines all the time. We got carryover storylines. We do have a few new ones with Brock and Cody and all that, which is totally on board with, but it just feels sloppy. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to see him tighten it up, but that's 25 minutes on the draft. Let's talk about one cool thing, in my opinion, I thought was cool. And I think it was needed. But it's interesting because there's kind of been 50-50 thoughts on this. Yeah. Not just the belt itself, but just the idea of bringing a belt. What'd you think of the new WWE World Championship belt that was presented on Monday?
I like the design.
Like the design?
The WWE. I knew the WWE logo
has to be on there. It's branding. Has to be.
I mean, and I think I'm one of those ones. I love the old big gold one.
See, I was not a fan of WCW's gold belt.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just like it. Looks like
but I do like this one.
It looks like a belt that you want your champion, like a big champion having. The only thing I don't like about it is it needed?
Is the belt needed?
Is the belt needed at this moment? Because now it almost seems like since Roman's going to hit the 1,000-day mark, who knows when he'll lose it? It's almost like now it's a secondary. It's just, to me, it's like, sorry, no one could beat this guy, so we got to make this new title. And sorry, you're always going to be kind of looked down on in my mind.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And then talks of like, I don't know how it's all going to go, but it's like, it's a Raw title. Cody Rhodes is on Raw. Is that, his whole thing about finishing the story? Is that if he gets that title, is that?
Okay, so I'm glad you went there early. There's absolutely no way Cody can win this belt, right?
No. I think
if they were to make Cody win this belt, it's a
slap in the face.
Oh, dude,
it's you're not good enough. Sorry, we tried with you. You're not.
It's not just a slap in the face to them. It's a slap in the face to every fan that cares for Cody. Yeah. It's a slap in the face to Dusty Rhodes. It's a slap in the face to that storyline, to anybody that's been helping him along the way. Seth Rollins losing 3 in a row. Yeah. Like, it's a slap in the face to everything they've done.
Roman doesn't need to be near that title at all.
Oh, dude. Oh, I disagree. What if Roman won it?
I'll have all three of them.
Oh, my God. Talk about fans booing.
I know. They would boo. But
it just elevates him to another level.
I don't want him near it, and I don't want Cody. I don't care who else is.
I'm with you ultimately. I don't want Roman. I just want, for freshness' sake, I want someone else to win it. And I'm not even sure I want Rollins to win it. And I love Rollins, and he probably is the most deserving right now.
He's the most deserving.
But he also becomes the most predictable.
That's what I was going to say. The moment or Triple H pulled the cover off, I was like, oh, that's Seth Rollins.
So let's talk about this then. So is it strictly, because it's a brand, so you said it's Raw?
It's supposed to be Raw.
So we'll kind of get an idea of who those players are going to be, but just for fun's sake, because we're always a week behind, your initial thoughts on who you think should be?
Well, my initial thought instantly is, like I said, Rollins, but I'm going to try to be a little spicy here.
Okay.
And we know Vincenzo back there loves big men. I think they'll give it to Omos.
Interesting. So that means Rollins takes another L at Backlash then, right?
I don't know if you say he takes the L at Backlash, because we have another month till the champion's going to be crowned. Mm-hmm. You can still build some stuff out of this. Mm-hmm. And I don't think this Rollins Omos rivalry is going to be a one and done match. So
I got to tell you who I think it will be, and who I pray it's not.
It's going to be top dollar.
I think it's going to be freaking Shinsuke Nakamura. I think they really like this guy. I think they know that there's a fan base for him. I'm not one of them. I don't dislike Shinsuke. I just don't get the appeal for on the heavyweight stage, on the world championship stage. I don't see the appeal to that. But I do think since they've had him and there is value to him, you either got to push him or you got to do something with him.
So it's next month, right?
Yeah.
I thought of Shinsuke too, but then also Shinsuke returned and instantly got put into a feud with Gunther, and they both got moved over to Raw.
And that's a good call.
They don't have a match this weekend.
You're right. That's a good call. That's a good call.
So by my process of elimination, I'm taking him out.
All right. So if not Shinsuke, in let's say no Seth, no Cody, no Shinsuke, give me one more. That would still not just for shock value, but like that would be worthy of it.
So here's my thing too. When titles are brought out that heels have them. Okay. Just because.
Even though we already have a heel champion, you don't think we need a baby face?
Well,
like a Drew McIntyre?
That would be a good one. My next thought would be Brock Lesnar. Which Brock right now is in that, even though he attacked Cody and he's supposed to be the bad guy, I mean, people still love Brock Lesnar because
I love him. I just don't want to see him as a champion. I know. We've seen the visual of Brock with a belt and the visual of Roman with a belt.
You got to build credibility to this title, and having Brock or Roman, who's not a full-time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a fighter's champion too, right? This is what I want. I want someone different to win it.
I would have thought but then he got traded. I thought another one was Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that either. I'm not on board with that. I just feel like his stock is low right now.
Who do you? I can tell you someone they could put it on, and it'd be way far to put him on it because I don't think he's ready for it.
Okay,
but people would get mad. Dominic Mysterio.
Oh,
because he could run with that for
dude. Oh, that's spicy. Nope, can't do that because he don't need it.
I thought,
but that would put him to the next level.
I thought Finn as well, but there's reports that Finn's injured and he's working through an injury right now, and I don't want to.
Okay, I'm gonna just type in real quick WWE roster, because right now names are slipping my thought process here. Let's see.
It's just, man, when I just think of I don't know. There's not really anybody that.
Dude, you're right. When I think of it,
it's like, man, it's
like who's a mid card guy? Like Big E would be a fun one if he came back, and you know what I mean. Austin Theory.
I don't know. There's just nobody in.
I'm looking too early for Bronson. Braun's gone. Bray Wyatt. What's happening with him? Braun Strowman. I hope they don't do that, but I could see that.
It doesn't have a color, and Big E doesn't either. So,
oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is updated though. So Braun, okay, this is updated. Well, no, because Raw. Well,
technically the trades or the draft doesn't take effect until after. Backlash.
Gotcha. Damian Priest would be interesting. Drew probably makes the most sense if you want to face. Yeah. I would love for them to freaking do something with Elias finally. Where's their
Elias's time has passed. Oh no, they do have it up to date because Gunther's
Raw. So. Outside of Gunther, who feels like an obvious next. This is what the IC championship used to be, right? The IC, it was your next in line. Who's the next in line to the next in line?
Wait, what the?
Where are we at? Eric Young.
Why is Eric Young on there? Do they know something I don't know?
Apparently he's on the roster. I'm just like, it's slipping me. Like there's no mid-card guy really. Never mind. He's been drafted to SmackDown. Who? Would have been interesting to have Solo.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not Gargano.
How about?
No. As much as I would love that.
Karrion Kross. Drafting the Raw, and then he wins it.
Cena.
But he just started a beef with.
Oh, I got it.
You got it? Who?
Bring him over to Raw.
LA Knight?
Yep.
I'm on board if you go for it right away.
Everybody's calling for it. They want him to have it.
Oh, dude, he should be on Raw. He should be on Raw and let him run for a while.
Matt Riddle is one that's going to be on Raw, and I don't.
He kind of lost his luster a little bit. He needs to build it back up. Logan Paul would be an interesting choice.
Here, I'll give you, because he's probably going to get drafted there.
Okay.
Your boy Randy Orton.
Yeah, if Randy is over there, then I would make that would be my 100% pick, and I'd be okay with that because it would feel big. It'd be his 15th time, getting him one step closer to that 16th time.
That's someone I would love to see it, but that will never happen.
Who's that?
Ricochet.
Oh, you want Ricochet? You're a Ricochet guy?
I like Ricochet. What?
I don't dislike Ricochet. I just don't want him to have a championship. Yeah, just there's a lot here.
That's his picture.
They updated Vincenzo with his mustache. Yeah, I think they need to work on their mid-card guys. For a while there, it felt like they only had mid-card guys, and now it seems like we're kind of losing that. All right, draft title gone. We need to talk at the half-hour mark here, man. CM Punk. He's been in the news, baby.
Phil Chick Magnet Brooks. Yeah, so Phil,
I love that.
CM Punk has been everywhere except for AEW.
Well, he's been there.
Okay, he's showing up every other place except for where he technically works.
Yeah. So all right, let's get everybody caught up here. First of all, CM Punk still under contract with AEW?
Yes, he's still under the contract. They're still paying him.
Let's talk facts, the things we know.
Yeah. So Tony Khan would be stupid to try to just let him go. So
this is what we know. Monday night, rumors reported that he was backstage chumming it up with guys.
Before we go there, so sorry, there are rumors coming throughout that Punk is willing to make amends with the league.
Yeah, we need to start there.
To come back. There's talks. They're supposed to have a meeting. Jericho was going to be part of it, FTR, and they were going to get Punk back. Then there was talks, Punk hasn't apologized to the Elite yet. So we're that's like, oh, what's going on there? Because technically they are EVPs, so you want to have good standings. And then it came out that they are very high on getting him back, or Tony Khan's very high getting CM Punk back, because AEW is going to start a Saturday night show for 2 hours that he is going to be the focus point of, and most of the roster on that Saturday show are people that are willing to work with him.
Right.
There's talks that Jericho was willing to work with him right when he gets back to get him right back into speed.
Which is interesting, and that's kind of what So, all right, we'll come back to the Jericho thing then.
Yeah.
So the big rumor is that CM Punk is ready to play ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, for some reason, he's at Monday Night Raw.
So,
and where was Raw at?
It was in Tampa, or it was in Florida.
Florida.
Which the people are saying he was there because he was supposed to have the meeting with Tony and them, and then someone he was.
Now, do we know? Was the meeting on Monday? Because I heard it was the day after.
That's what I thought it was too.
Okay, so Monday night he shows up to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, he shows up to Monday Night Raw because I read a whole story that he saw like some of the wrestlers that and they invited
at the airport.
Said, hey, you should come to the show.
Yeah,
so he did,
and he was backstage. He talked to Paul Levesque, Miz.
He did talk to Triple H for a little bit, and everything. Supposedly, there was no hostility,
which I never thought there would be.
Yeah,
between those two,
the biggest thing was he aired like him and the Miz made up, I guess.
Yeah,
for Bad Blood, but. From what I heard, most of the conversation that happened with Triple H was that Punk, asking, "Hey, can I be here?" And Triple H saying, "I don't know. The call is going to come from the big guy. I will go."
And then the call came from the big guy.
He said, "No, you need to leave." And CM Punk left peacefully.
Yep.
And
before we move on from that, what does that say about Triple H not knowing whether or not he could be there? Is that a problem? Should Triple H? I mean, he's the guy before the guy.
I don't know, because it's
I love the fan in me wants Triple H and CM Punk to figure it out, because I want CM Punk in WWE.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like Vince. There is,
but he needs to
go.
There's
the bad blood between Vince and CM Punk.
I don't even think it was petty. I think it was just the Vince needs. Yeah. He's an employee of AEW. Yeah. Vince has been down the road where he's been screwed by wrestlers in the past, going to WCW, taking the belt, throwing it in the trash on live TV, thinking he had a contract signed with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and then them showing up, Lex Luger, same thing. He doesn't want to be humiliated after he just made $9.3 billion.
Yeah, that is true. And from what the reports, I mean, these are all Fightful Select, Wrestling Observer newsletter, that people in AEW were shocked when they heard about it.
You think?
Didn't expect. Yeah, it's like, but then it goes to, what else did CM Punk do this week?
So then it goes to the next night.
Yeah, he's supposed to have this meeting
where he has this meeting with
Jericho, FTR, Tony Khan.
Were the Young Bucks and them a part of that?
That I don't know.
I don't know that either.
I don't think they were.
Now I hear that meeting goes well as well.
Yeah, I've heard that meeting went well,
which is interesting because Jericho in the past has not held his tongue on CM Punk.
No. But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, Chris, and everything I've heard from people, like wrestling, from podcasts, from reports, Chris Jericho is like,
he's not petty. He's not holding a grudge.
No, and he's the GOAT. Like, he is the locker room leader.
Right.
I mean, the dude freaking almost fought Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Like,
But
And
it's
did
funny
show.
you say locker room leader because that's what Jericho's story is when he talks about Punk. There's that story about how Punk goes, well, I'm the locker room leader around here. And everybody looked at each other like,
no, you're not.
Fuck you. You don't lead me.
So
But the point is that Jericho is not going to go in there. He knows the value of Punk to the company.
he makes money. Jericho, he's gonna. It's money.
It makes him more money.
And I think we've kind of came to a conclusion. If you're trying to sell 90,000 tickets to fill out Wembley, you need to have CM Punk there.
So, okay, they have the meeting, and now you tell me that he shows up at Impact.
Yeah. So I think the thing Impact was in Chicago.
Okay.
And wasn't there something else too happened this week that
he might have? I missed it if there was.
Something with Chicago because he was going back to Chicago and they were there. But so Naomi, she debuted in Impact.
Okay.
And it was either her or Sasha tweeted at Punk saying, "Hey, you should come by."
Okay.
So he showed up to Impact and was backstage. Like he took a picture with Jordan Grace.
Punk is just likable guy now. Everybody wants to.
I think Punk's playing nice because I think he realizes.
Do you?
I think he realizes, hey, if I do want to wrestle, which
I got to get along with some company.
I got to get along because right now my image looks like, because the more and more from the fight, the brawl out, the whole thing came out, it made Punk look worse.
The story of Punk right now is very interesting.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
It's intriguing as hell because he quits in 2014 from WWE.
Oh, he got fired.
Well,
on his wedding day.
Yes, but there's more to that story. It wasn't just he got fired. There were some things he didn't want to play ball with, right?
And money too probably played a factor in that, and him and Vince were not.
Either way, his departure from WWE in 2014, he does his UFC thing, he does the acting thing, he does that for a while. Then he comes back and he's huge over in AEW. Huge. And he's fighting Darby Allin to start. He's having beef with the MJF, and it lives up.
Having a fantastic feud with Eddie Kingston. He's
helping these young bucks get out, helping the old veterans get over it. Just he's a part of it. Then there's this issue with the EVPs, and I think a part of him doesn't like the way Tony Khan runs things. I don't think he respects the young bucks for being or executive or producers. I don't think he likes that, and I think he was acting out.
And I mean, I'm not defending any actions they made, like causing a brawl backstage. But the young bucks and them are not. I mean, they take shots at people all the time.
They're so unprofessional.
They made a huge thing of saying FTR's name is because on their show they would say F the Revival. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so it's like, they do their show and it's the BT is supposed to be comical and stuff, but you got to know who you're talking about and not talk shit about people. But
they don't know.
No,
they should. And that's because they've been given a privileged position. Yep. And I'm not going to say it wasn't earned, but I don't know that it was earned because I don't know that they should know. I don't know. I don't want to say anything outside of that. But when it comes to CM Punk, who comes from whether or not you like WWE or you hate it, it's structured, it's organized, it is what it is. You come to this kind of like creative control of your own Wild Wild West. And now you have to somehow be, kind of answer to Kenny Omega, answer to the Young Bucks in some way. But then you have the brawl and you have them, from my understanding, don't get me wrong, CM Punk runs his mouth and then they show up in his locker room. They kind of right? It wasn't like he sought them out. They sought him out.
Yeah. Because
they didn't like what he said.
Yeah. It was going off on him
at the press conference.
Yeah. Also, before I go back in that, we forgot too, the whole CM Punk where he posted on social media,
which was huge.
Yeah, and then
trash talking everybody,
and then that leads out to Moxley saying, "Hey, I'm not even under contract with this company. I'm just doing this right now." And then Jericho coming out saying stuff. So they have the Elite go to see. That's the thing. I don't know because I thought it occurred in the Elite's locker room, the whole brawl.
Well, it might have.
And I don't know. It occurred everywhere. All I know was out of the brawl. It gave me so much more respect for Kenny Omega because he saved CM Punk's dog.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, while punches and stuff are being thrown, Kenny Omega's grabbing CM Punk's dog and taking him outside of the room. Dude. And then gets bit by Ace Steel.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Dude, I wish we were on live or we were live back then when that was.
Oh, I know. That would have been.
All right, so we've summarized all of CM Punk shenanigans. Yeah. Where are we at? What is happening? What do you ultimately see happening with CM Punk?
Oh, he'll come.
It's AEW?
Yeah, he'll go back to because I mean, well, think about it too. If they're going to start this new show, which is the plan right now, they have a Saturday night show, and he is going to be the guy on that show. Like it is going to be based around him.
See, I've got a lot of issues with that Saturday night show, dude.
Yeah, I know.
CM Punk ain't saving a Saturday night show
Over.
I don't mind giving a Saturday night to a pay-per-view one night a month, but I don't want to give 4 nights of my Saturday to AEW Professional Wrestling. Is this going to be a 6 o'clock show? Is this an 8 o'clock show?
Probably prime 8 o'clock. And you're going to have to fight against all the sports for that week.
Is anybody watching Rampage right now?
I haven't watched Rampage in months.
Well, I just mean like for ratings-wise.
Probably.
What is Rampage's AEW Rampage ratings? Let's just see what they give us. 371,000.
Yeah. So.
And now you're gonna move it to. You're gonna have a day on Saturday too. So you got is Rampage staying on?
That's what I've heard. Only thing I hate about Rampage is it's so late, 10 o'clock at night. Ugh.
But it's Friday.
I know.
I mean, that's the whole point. Like record low viewership, 340,000. That was April 3rd. That was less than a month ago. So I don't get it. And now Punk's gonna. So here's what you're telling me: Punk's gonna come back to AEW because he gets along more with the roster on Saturday. He's gonna fight on Saturdays. Is this gonna be pre-recorded TV or is this live?
That I don't know that part.
Okay, so either way though, he's gonna be the big dog in a small pond and nobody's gonna watch it.
And they're all gonna be.
He'll still be on Dynamite, right?
You would think
you're not gonna have CM Punk and not have him on Dynamite.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because I mean. I hope they don't tape it. I hope it's live because I would feel bad for the people that go to the tape or Dynamite and have to sit through Dynamite, Rampage, and whatever the show is.
Oh my God.
I don't know. And then you're putting people that want to work with CM Punk. It's like, if CM Punk when he comes back, everybody knows the feud that they want.
Yeah.
And there's 2 feuds. You can do more with the MJF, and then the biggest feud is the Elite. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus him. And probably FTR is your money-making. Everybody wants to see that.
So this is what I think you have to do. I think he comes back to AEW. I'm with you. I think he comes back to AEW. I think he's on Dynamite. I think he's a part of the big show. You have to be.
Yeah.
And I think what ends up happening is you have to make sure that you are ultra smart with your promos and your early positioning of who he's going up against, because he can't go up against an MJF because do we know what CM Punk's fans like? What is the audience going to? How are they going to take him? The Young Bucks are back. Did they get booed? Are they cheered? What's the love affair with the Young Bucks right now with Kenny Omega?
Oh well,
do they just forget about it once they're there, and then we're just happy to see?
Well, I think you saw when they came back for the trio stuff, they were cheered.
So is CM Punk here? But this is the question: the Bucks and them are AEW bred,
original OGs.
So does Punk get booed? Because I think he gets booed. I think he gets it. No. Hear me out. I think he initially gets cheered.
He'll get the pop when
get the pop.
Cult of personality
for sure.
And
if it's in Chicago, he'll be cheered the whole time. But after that, after we get 3-4 weeks into him,
he'll start getting booed. Yeah,
he'll start getting booed, especially if you have him fighting the Elite. I think he gets booed. I think that rubs him the wrong way. And if he goes up against MJF, I think he gets booed.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why the whole thing with Jericho would be the first.
It would have to be.
Yeah, and I think that.
But I still think he gets booed against Jericho. Jericho will do everything in his power this is what I'm saying. So here's what I would do. I would just dive into that. I would be the villain.
Make him a heel. Yeah.
Make him a heel. Make him say, you know what? On second thought, I was gone, and I was gonna say all these apologies, but no, I was right. They were wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let him run. Yeah, run him. Punk's some of his best. The pipe bomb. It was a heel.
He's a natural heel.
Yeah.
He's a natural heel.
Let him be that heel or that
anti-hero.
Just in the middle.
I think he has to be a heel to get back to the anti-hero. Yeah. That's how I feel. Yeah. I really do. It's going to be interesting though, man. CM Punk, and whether or not he does come back or doesn't, but I think, like you said, AEW needs him to sell out seats for Wembley. Yeah.
And I mean, like Jericho probably thinks of it. I mean, there's tons of money to be made when he comes back. There
was just too much meat left on the bone before he left, of all the things that you still wanted to see CM Punk be a part of.
You still wanted we never got the 1v1 that we wanted with Kenny Omega and all that. So
I will say this though, more now than ever, I believe that he'll come back to AEW. I think he'll kind of mend some fences, but I think he has a short run, and I do think he'll come back to WWE. I think he'll come back to WWE for a big final curtain call.
So he can be a Hall of Fame kind of run.
Basically, he gets his Hall of Fame, but I think he deserves 70, 80, 90,000 people saying goodbye to him.
Yeah, Mania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that. So I want them all to have that. So if AEW ever gets to that, like if they get 90,000 people at Wembley, then stay there forever. And I just want to make sure that these guys,
gets his proper center.
Yeah, because he is deserving of it. He transcended wrestling. So interesting, man.
So want to do a quick AEW update then?
Yeah, let's talk AEW, buddy.
So biggest things right now, the pillars, they're kind of leaning in that. So it was Sammy Guevara versus, was it against Darby?
Darby Allin.
And winner would get a match against MJF. Shenanigans occurred. So Sammy ends up winning. But then while he's standing on the ramp, because him and MJF are buddies right now.
Right.
Being heels together, having a good time.
Rich, the writing is on the wall with that. Yeah.
So then Tony Schiavone, announces, hey, you're the winner. You get the match against MJF. But next week, you and Max are going to tag team against Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. If you guys win, it will be the match as stated right now. But if they win, they are added in Fatal 4 match, which is going to happen. I'm kind of – I mean – we knew it was going to come to that. I kind of wish they would have expanded a little bit longer.
It's going to come sooner than we thought.
Yeah, because I thought we would end up getting that at the Wembley show.
See, I didn't, because I don't think you can have that as your marquee unless you had a big kind of like a Rock Cena without the belt type thing. You had a big Jericho Punk, Kenny Omega Punk. You know what I mean? Even Adam Page Punk at this point would be entertaining again, just because of the shit that was said. That's the only way I think you could get away with the pillars being at the main event of that.
I don't think they'd main event that one.
That you wouldn't have your champion main event the show?
Not that one.
Interesting.
No, I mean, normally AEW does, but I promise you, I will put money down that the main event of that Wembley show is going to be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP.
I might take a bet. I might take that bet.
United States Championship, because Will Ospreay is beloved English boy from Essex, and you're gonna, that show is gonna feature British wrestlers.
I don't think it's the main event. I think MJF is your main event. Period. What, friendly little wager?
Well, let's put a pizza bet on it.
All right, pizza bet. That guy buys the pizza for the next pay per view after that.
Okay, so yeah, that was it, and then we'll just go quick, so we don't run too long. Then we have a debut, and
you were marking out.
I was so excited. Bandito, pretty much a whole story that Adam Cole, Britt Baker got attacked by Jericho Appreciation Society, and then the Outcast. So Jericho's, Adam Cole's in the ring calling Jericho out, saying like, "You come out here, I'm going to find you."
Right.
He gets jumped by a bunch of people. Bandito and Orange Cassidy, the unlikely tag team, just comes out to make the save. Not enough. Numbers are still not there. And felt like forever, because I was like, who's coming out?
Dude,
someone's got to come out.
It did feel like forever.
And no way did I expect, out of nowhere, End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage plays, and Roderick Strong comes, saves the day.
He looks good.
Dude.
He looks good.
I'll have to.
What'd you do in the moment?
I mean, so I didn't watch it live, but when I saw it on Twitter, I was ecstatic. I was screaming it to my wife, and because she knows how much I love Roderick Strong, and she likes to joke about every time he's on TV, he takes his shirt off, which he does.
He does.
Within instant seconds, his shirt's off and he's hitting people.
Hey, when you look good, you got to.
No, this is a great get. Now, when he was with Undisputed Era, that was a fantastic run. He kind of got to grow, because when he got to AEW or WWE, he was just the NXT. He was, I'm a family man. I'm a good wrestler. I'm a family guy.
Right.
Had nothing. Undisputed Era allowed him to be the heel that he is naturally, a very good heel. In his independent run, he's cocky, but he's that cocky, but he's good. He backs it up with his in-ring skill. Now I'm excited to see what they do with him. Now also people, if you don't know, Kyle O'Reilly is still in AEW. Bobby Fish was left. So
where's he at now?
He's doing whatever he wants. Technically, I think he has a contract with Impact.
But he could come back.
Yeah, if he
as long as he's not. Is he signed with Impact?
I don't know. He's showed up for things for Impact and
okay.
He's wrestling indie shows, stuff like that. He'll make his way back because that's again
because right now
that's money to be made right there.
Money to be made. Here's what you currently have.
AEW loves factions,
dude. They love them. How do you think they do with them? Do you think they do pretty good? Like, do you like the? Do you think the factions in AEW feel like
the big factions feel good? Like
right now, you got JAS,
the Elite.
Yep.
Blackpool Combat Club feels good. Is good.
Big. Yep.
Now like Dark Order at one point was good with like Brody Lee. I thought they were pretty good. But other than that, like the Factory, that one.
House of Black right now.
House of Black, yeah, House of Black's good.
You Blackpool Combat Club, JES, the Elite. You've got potential for Undisputed
Era, which would be
and then Bullet Club with Jay White back.
Bullet Club Gold. Well, they got to add more than just two people.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying the potential there for those factions that people love is there.
And it's, AEW, a lot of it is based from the New Japan style, and New Japan loves factions.
Yeah.
So like, I'm fine with it. I just really hope they let these guys, because they have more freedom with their
creative. Yeah.
Let Roderick Strong be the way, because me and my buddy used to get in arguments all the time about him, because you watch some of his indie stuff where he's just the douchey, cocky heel. He's fantastic on the mic, but in NXT they never let him speak.
Yeah,
it's like let him be this way. If he's going to be a face, let him be a wow. But the moment that group, if Bobby Fish does come back, I mean, I like Bobby Fish, I'll be happy. But if Kyle O'Reilly just comes back, turn him heel down the road.
Turn him heel.
What they should be.
My thing is I've always been kind of surprised because WWE does like to stint their personalities, man. It's like if you got a talent like LA Knight, let him thrive, and they've been doing that as of late.
Which at first they weren't.
But at first they weren't, and it's like if you've got somebody like that with Roderick Strong, give him a microphone. Let him sink or swim. Yeah. See what happens, And I think AEW will do that.
And let him do his finisher because he probably has the coolest finisher in wrestling.
What's it called again?
End of Heartache.
The End of Heartache. Yeah.
Freaking toss him up in the air.
It's so cool.
Backbreaker.
Yeah, it's really cool.
No, but like I said, when I saw it, I lost my shit. I love Roderick Strong. I'm happy he's back. Open up your pro wrestling tee store, please, again. So I can buy our shirt.
I got to tell you, I turned on AEW late the other night, and I had to watch it back. But when I got to it, Moxley stabbing with a freaking screwdriver, and it's like not just once. It's like I'm killing this guy, and it's just it's overkill for me. But I'm like, Grant somewhere is loving
funny
this
because he does the one that is supposed to like cut him open.
Yeah,
and you can you can see the screwdriver, and then when he's on top of him hitting him with it. It's like, dude, that screwdriver's all the way back out. You're doing nothing.
I know. Can you suspend your belief for long enough?
The moment I saw the screwdriver, I'm like, blood's gonna happen. Rob turned it off already.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what game is on in the NBA tonight? Yeah,
Rob's like, man, I might watch hockey actually.
No, man. So I think AEW's got some momentum going. I like some of the things they're doing. The 4 pillars. I think that's going to be interesting. And we were talking about when is that going to happen? It sounds like it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Let's get off AEW. Jump into Backlash. I think we should spend about as little that is necessary without disrespecting the card.
Okay.
Let's give our predictions. Let's do what we think it's got to do. But like our interest level in this pay-per-view, like we've already discussed, is not high. But I will say this. I do think it's going to be a fantastic pay-per-view because usually when you have low expectations for it, all the performers still show up.
I'm excited because, I mean, it's in Puerto Rico.
That's going to be a great crowd.
Yeah, it's going to be a good crowd.
Do we know what the attendance is going to be like there? Like what the number? Like how many? Like what's the arena there? Do you remember? Or do you know? What's it called? The Coliseo de Puerto Rico?
Yeah, Jose.
How many people can fit in the Coliseo de Puerto Rico?
So, let's see if that.
Nope. Forget it. Anyways, I'm just curious if they can get like, let's say they get 35,000, 40,000 people for it. It'd be bonkers.
Make it like the old school Bash at the Beach.
Oh, dude, I love
just,
that.
Just give it a good feel. All right, do you want me to just run down the card then?
Yeah, let's start with the bottom feeders that we know, and then work our way up to the top, man.
All right. Well, bottom feeders. So Raw Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Io Sky.
She's definitely not a bottom feeder. I didn't mean that like
Well,
that. But,
I'm just trying to go through what has like
okay,
high
so
expectations.
something a little different here. You're getting Sky versus Bianca.
Which they in NXT they put on fantastic matches. So
Yeah, I think the match would be fine, but the problem is that I'm just there's no story to it. I'm done with Damage Control. I'm over it. I think at least get Bailey away from them.
Yeah,
let the Damage Control just be the two girls and let them do their thing.
And I mean, both these women are moving to SmackDown after. So
yeah, and the thing is like where are we at with Bianca right now? Should she lose her belt and chase again? Are we a little stagnant with her run?
I think we should.
I think something. I just feel that way with maybe not, but I just feel that way with WWE right now. The whole thing feels not fresh right now. It needs to be fresh, and I thought that was why I was so damn excited about the draft.
Yeah, it's
and
just been a
night 2
rehash things.
Yeah, night 2 better be huge. Like Randy Orton needs to come back, mix this shit back up.
Do you want to do predictions on them then?
Yeah, just tell me who you think's gonna win.
Bianca Belair.
I got Bianca too.
All right, SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley versus Selena Vega. Edge good.
Raw Women's Champion.
SmackDown. It's still SmackDown.
That's right, because she beat Charlotte.
And she hasn't been drafted yet. So, I mean, good to see Selena Vega get a
Oh, I love this. Yeah, love it.
And it's going to put more eyes on that
LWO
if you're making that a faction. But Rhea is winning. There's no way.
Oh, there's no way. And it might even be a squash.
And then that pretty much means they're going to switch the titles over to each other.
Although interesting, I don't know, where is Zelina from?
New York. I don't know. I think I will Google that. I don't.
Maybe what's better is what is her ethnicity? Maybe what I should have said. Trying to tie it into Puerto Rico here. I know she's not Puerto Rican, but she's Latino. So
she is Latino.
I just thought it would be funny. I thought
she is from Queens, New York, though.
Yeah, she would be. She would be. Never mind. I just thought that she might get some type of rub from like the Puerto Rican crowd. So like that's what I was trying to say is that Rhea, it might be more than a squash match, but Rhea's gonna win. So continue.
Next one we got Seth Rollins versus the Nigerian Nightmare. I'm excited to see it just because I like seeing how is Seth Rollins gonna overcome the obstacle put in front of him. And
it's an interesting match because I think Seth Rollins wins. But I just don't know if they continue. Like, are they using Omos here to push Seth Rollins?
I think they're pushing him towards that.
And then if that's the case, then that means Omos was in 2 big high-profile matches and then lost. What can you really do with him after that? Does he have to win, or are we just going to continue to push him in these big matches?
Oh, Vince is going to push him in the big matches. Come on.
But he's not had a creative. Isn't that what they say?
He is. Rollins wins that.
Rollins wins it too, yeah.
Let's go. The Bloodline versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. Kind of no title on the line or anything.
I'm okay with that. That Riddle needs this.
Yeah. First big kind of feud coming back, and he does have the history. They put Randy Orton on the shelf.
Yeah.
So, in kayfabe. So, I think Kevin Owens, Sami, and Riddle win, and then it causes more tension with the Bloodline.
Yeah,
that story's still too, even though Roman's not defending or anything, the Bloodline story is still hot. So
I think the Usos win.
Okay.
Or I think the Bloodline wins. I think they need something that would kind of build the relevance back up.
Also storyline getting the good graces of Roman again.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a triple threat match because right now you can pin Riddle or you can pin the other two and not lose the belts off those two guys, and you can kind of continue the storyline that way, where they didn't lose the belts, they didn't regain their gold. You know what I mean? Riddle's the one that got pinned. Potentially, you could do that.
Side note: did you see Solo's Samoan Spike this weekend out of the air? Just
yeah.
Oh.
Dude, it is cool looking. It's kind of a throwback move to just a simplicity move to like those big guys back in the day.
I mean, to the family, to Umaga doing it. He even does it too. He even does the
he puts it all the way to the side. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of going out of order of these because next one I would say United States Champion Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed.
I think we have a change of gold here.
I agree.
I think Austin Theory has kind of done his. I think he's bigger than the belt now.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? I think he's bigger than the belt. And are they ready to put it on Bronson Reed, or is this going to be a Bobby Lashley thing?
Now there goes the thing that your IC title and your
no, because Bobby Lashley's on SmackDown.
Yeah, so if Bobby takes it, it's going over. So it's still on. You have it on a different brand.
I think you get it on a different brand. You get Bobby Lashley happy again. But I got to tell you, man, they're going to have to figure out something to do with Bobby Lashley. If you're not going to put him in a heavyweight champion title or thing, he's been going after this U.S. championship. He's either been in the conversation or he's had it for the last greater part of 2 years now.
Yeah.
Like,
he had it, lost it, won the WWE championship, and then went right back into
the U.S. title. I think they got to figure out something else with him to kind of keep him. Maybe this is, I would love to see, just hear me out, Brock Lesnar and him just be tag team partners.
Just demolish everybody.
Like the Brothers of Destruction. Just like the baddest ass tag team that you could have. And I think Brock would be, and have them be faces. Like Brock would be, like they'd be fun. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, KO and Sammy?
I would almost enjoy it if you had the mixture of Brock to be the face and Bobby just be just pissed off heel kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And Brock,
the yin and yang.
Brock being like,
calm down, big fella. Calm down, big fella.
Like, this makes no sense. Why are we just having a good time, just demolishing everybody?
You know, it'd be a sweet faction. Put Braun Strowman in those two guys and just have them like the big meaty men. Like that would be fun. Give them something.
So going on that.
Anyways,
I'm picking Bronson Reed doing it because the last few weeks he's been getting a little.
He's been getting there. He's been getting there.
Fans are getting behind him a little bit.
I think Bronson Reed needs it.
He does need it. That is a terrifying top rope splash he does. I would be fearful for my life.
Dude, he's 300 bills.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's 400.
He's 400?
Oh,
my God.
Huge.
I'll take Lashley. I have no confidence in the creative right now with WWE for this past month because it feels sloppy. So I'm going to go Bobby Lashley. Although Bronson Reed should be good.
Street Fight, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest.
Well, they're going to Puerto Rico. Wait, this is not a tag team match?
No, it's just just a 1v1 street fight with Bad Bunny.
That is.
If you would have said that 5 years ago, I would have looked at you and said, "What? Bad Bunny is going to fight Punishment Martinez in a street fight in Puerto Rico?"
I love that you said that. Bad Bunny's going to win. It's no doubt. Yeah, it's no doubt.
I'm excited though. I think it's going to be fantastic.
By your logic, it's going to be the main event of the night.
I think it will be the main event.
You're crazy. You think so?
Yeah. Why not? It's either second to last. It'll be main event or right before.
All right, I'm with you.
I hope it's the main event because
you just want the climax of the crowd.
Yeah, and then what the other match is Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. You might be right for the fact. No, I can't. It's got to be. Well, here's the question. Let's talk. Who are you picking in this? Who do you forget who you're picking? Who do you think wins? Like what I mean by that, like
Brock Lesnar.
You think Brock Lesnar wins? I agree.
I think they're gonna do this whole story that.
Then Bad Bunny might be the main event.
Yeah, Cody's lost that Mania match, instantly gets the shit kicked out of him by Brock, and because there's rumors that Roman Cody are going to be in the main event of 40.
Yeah, that's the early expectations of that. I think it should be theoretically.
So if we're gonna go a whole year,
he's got to
that. Yeah, event again. You got to have him almost hit rock bottom and then build his way back up.
He loses to Lesnar. He's in the Night of Champions tournament. He gets beat in the main event. I'm with you, dude.
Because their whole thing is finishing this story.
Yeah,
and I mean if you. The end goal of the last chapter of the story is him winning it.
Yeah.
And we're still writing this. And we got to have twists and turns. So have him put in a fantastic match. Have it to where he has Brock at the verge, hits Brock with a couple crossroads, and then Brock just gets him. And
ooh, dude.
Shit, have Brock just demolish him. I don't.
Oh, I would be on board with a squash match. Like I think that's fine.
Yes, Cody is still. The fans are And the arenas are behind him. They're singing his song. They're cheering for him. On Twitter, he's getting
beat up.
Yeah, their fans are starting to
turn. We knew this was going to happen. You had to do it then.
hot.
Yeah, when he was hot.
You're going to have to rebuild.
You're going to have to rebuild the whole thing. Yeah, because I don't think it's guaranteed. I think they still want to do Rock Roman. I think why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
That's money.
That's money. I'm with you, man. I'm with you now. I'm actually on board. I think Bad Bunny is going to main event tonight.
If we have if we have 40 Rock Roman, can they do the Okada thing where they actually make money, like fake dollar bills rain, or Vince just walks to the ring, just
hand it up,
has a fanny pack on and it's just throwing.
Hey, he did that once. He
throwing hundreds out, just money. I'm making all this back. I don't care.
Remember that he did that for like 3-4 weeks in a row. He just let money drop.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm with you, man. I think Bad Bunny and them will main event the pay-per-view. I'm with you.
If it was a normal match, like just a Bad Bunny Damian Priest singles match, then I would be like, no, there's no way. But then when they added the street fight in,
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, those fans are gonna love it.
You'll have Rey Mysterio, you'll have Dominique, you'll
have the whole.
Why is that not a tag team match? Why is it not Rey and Bad Bunny versus Dominic and Damian?
I thought that as well, but
yeah,
maybe they want to, because every time we've seen Bad Bunny, it's been a tag match. He's only wrestled
it's been a tag match,
or in a multi-man thing like the Rumble.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Maybe they want to.
He wrestled at Mania and he wrestled in the Rumble. My big thing is that Dominique and him had the issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then Priest attacked him the next day.
So they should have got back to that. That's okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I ultimately think because of the crowd, this is what AEW and WWE need to do. I think they need to go more international with some of these lesser than pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Just so they can get there. Quick note before we kind of go off air here, because we've kind of put a little bow on all these things that we wanted to talk about. Leading up to Night of Champions, this was supposed to be the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
And it got taken out because they went probably a different route with this championship belt and some of the things they wanted to do. I want the King of the Ring tournament, man.
Oh, I know. I want the King of the Ring. I love that.
But I see that right now they took it away and there's no plans to bring it back.
Nope.
Damn.
There's talks of having it this year, King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and they scrapped it.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia.
And now they're gonna go to Saudi Arabia for this, and
well,
that's gonna play a factor. And I think
I think we just said
lay in the bed you made, WWE. Because
if
you're gonna take millions of dollars from them, things are gonna.
Well, I will say this though: how great is that? If it goes the way we just said, where Cody wins his way to the main event to try to get the championship belt, and we think Randy Orton's going to be the one that gets it.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Think about that storyline. But what sucks is it'd be a tournament, right? So will it be all on the same night? Or is the tournament going to lead up to?
I think the tournament leads up to.
Okay.
It'd be cool. Say, what if it's like, so tournament goes, no Randy Orton or anything, hasn't, and it's Seth or Seth and Cody, and Seth, Seth can be the heel, he can be the face, whatever.
Yeah, he's back and forth.
So he's the heel in this moment, or something. And what if Cody, the stereotype part or whatever, or predictable, Cody Rhodes gets injured the day or something of it.
Okay, they're going to go to the injury route.
Seth's in the ring. Give me the title, whatever. Doing his dance, cackling, and Randy Orton's music hits.
Oh, dude,
Randy wins it.
Yeah,
and Cody comes back the next day. It's like, oh hey, man, it sucks I got injured, and but I'm happy you're the one who got it. But I want a title match, stuff like that, and then Cody gets kind of the jealous. Oh man, my moment got stolen again. Well,
some people think because of the heat that Cody's getting on Twitter, that by time 40 comes around, they'll role reverse. Reigns will actually be a fan babyface by then, because the bloodline maybe turns on him or whatever. That's just some of the things that are being talked about. That they do a Hogan or they do a Rock Austin between what they did the 1 year at Mania and then they role reverse the next year.
And Vince comes out to the ring and hands Cody the chair, and Cody hits him. There's so much you can do with Cody, just because if the end goal is him to take it at Mania, you gotta.
That is some old school shit you just said with Vince strolling his ass out there with the chair.
It's do-rag Vince, though. And Matt Cardona, and then Zack Ryder's somewhere there, too, because why not?
Dude, fantasy booking 101.
Fantasy
I love it.
Or-
Yeah, man. Anything for the good of the order? Anything else that you want to talk about? NXT 60? Do you want to add anything that we might have missed?
NXT 60, I'm afraid all the good NXT talent's going to be up on the main roster, so we're going to be struggling here a little bit.
Well, we'll actually get an Indy Hartwell, Dexter Loomis.
Hey, Index. Actually, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller was fantastic.
Okay.
Main event for the title.
Good.
Actually, I think NXT's been doing pretty well, so good for them.
Yeah, they've been consistent with their viewership too, which is nice.
And I also think they got rid of the 2.0 on the name, which
is 2.0 gone?
I'm going to check.
I wish they would have just brought back the black and gold and just kind of did way with the whole 2.0 thing. But
yeah, it just says their logo on Twitter is just
and it's black and
Yeah,
gold.
it's black and gold.
Wait, that's their logo on Twitter right now?
Yeah.
That's big, dude.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
They got to get rid of have you seen the belt? The belts, actually. Have you looked closer to their main, like the men and women's championship?
No.
It has that gold, black and gold, and then the inside of it's like the rainbowish colors. From
yeah. No, I have
when
seen
the
it.
light
Okay.
hits it, it shines. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm like, that's cool, but I don't like the 2.0 look. Get rid of that.
I think they'll work their way back to it. Hey man, good show, buddy. We always things to talk about. Always, that's what I love about professional wrestling. It's the gift that keeps on giving, even though it's not always what's happening between the 20x20 ring. It's just it's a lot. CM Punk, we talked about the draft, all these things that are taking place. It's a lot of the creative and basically the directions that they choose to take a lot of the times is what we discuss.
And side note, they should have had King of the Ring. Because then you could have made someone like
you can make a star.
Xavier Woods was still a star, but they gave him that. And
yeah.
I mean, yes, not much came from it. Man, they could give it the top dollar. We could have King top dollar.
I don't get, but here's the thing. Something comes from it for the short term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Baron Corbin, it worked for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like these are the things that are important. These things help these guys for the short term. Is it going to help them forever and always? Who knows? That you got to be consistent with them. I actually think Baron Corbin has been given more chances than anybody.
Side note about Baron Corbin, did you see this weekend?
No, I didn't.
So they're in Paris for shows.
Okay.
The fans in Paris were like full on cheering.
They love him.
Like chanting Baron Corbin. And like you could tell in the video of him like
just being,
he's getting like, he's like, oh my, like
emotional.
Him like throw it like his hands up, stuff like that. And you're like,
he's getting emotional.
Yeah,
I bet. I gotta watch that.
He never gets it, and it's like
he's the type of guy that will get his flowers when it's done. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like he is, and he'll be like a Miz, up and down, up and down. You know what I mean? He's done his due diligence, man. He's earned his road. He's one of those guys that I actually did not like it. I didn't like the Lone Wolf. Yeah. I've actually enjoyed everything else other than that, because I don't care for a guy who's balding.
I thought when it's like in NXT, he was different. And it worked. When he got brought up to the main roster, he definitely just became, I got a cool finisher.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
And then definitely when the King, the Constable,
I love the Happy Corbin. I love that he was down on his luck.
Yeah, that he showed he can do so much more. And
yeah, no.
He'll be
back with something. It's just what's it going to be?
He's almost like don't kill me, fans. He's almost like a Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho. He can reinvent.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I think they're on the same level. I mean, Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho are definitely bigger stars. Yeah. Oh, you said Chris Jericho. I was thinking Christian in my head when you said that, but like they're definitely bigger stars. Yeah. But like, yes, Baron Corbin, he's been around now for how long has he been around? 7-8 years now.
Yeah,
almost a decade. So like he's done his part. All right, buddy, another one in the books.
Or what is it?
Another one in the books. We are Audi 5000. I will tell you what. Next week, going to drop the number 517-442-5026. Let's have some audience participation if we can. If not, no big deal, but we're going to keep throwing it up there, and hopefully somebody will come on and call us and get some fan engagement.
Potential watch party
on Saturday. I'll have to get back to you on that. I was definitely thinking we should do watch parties for all the big ones.
Oh, yeah.
So like the big four, WWE, maybe Money in the Banks of 5.
I love Money in the Bank.
Anything that feels big, we can do. And then AEW doesn't do enough to not probably do it. Yeah. So we should do those. But I'll get back to you on that.
How's especially the Wembley show, so I can look really stupid when they sell like 40,000 tickets.
I think they're going to sell 50. You said 60?
Yeah, I think 60.
I think if they get 60, they still had a successful night. Yeah. It'll look packed. The The other thing is too is that I kind of lost my thought a little bit there, but like, oh no, just getting back to the final here. I think if we can get engagement here and build the show up a little bit, that'd be great. Slipped me again. What the hell was I going to talk about, dude? Yeah, I don't know. What the hell was I talking about?
I don't know, dude.
I was getting ready to close the show off here.
You're talking about the number, but you gave the number out.
442-5026. Call in, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, as always, Grant the Mark Clark, Robert Gifford. We will see you guys next week between 7 and 7:15. We'll be live. Make sure you look for it. Make sure you call in.
Let's do it.
See you, buddy.